It's hard to believe, but Peppa Pig already has more than 400 episodes, and that has made the show change quite a lot. Can you notice all the differences between the early episodes and the current ones? The most recent change in Peppa Pig wasn't a new character or a special episode, it was the house. Yes, the Pig family now lives in an upgraded version of their old little house, bigger, more modern, and with a garage that, let's be honest, will probably never see a car parked inside. Back in the beginning, Peppa's house was simple, a single building, a yellow door facing the left side of the hill, no frills at all. Today, the entrance switched sides, new windows appeared, and the overall look now feels like a real house. It's the same house, but clearly after many years of upgrades. On top of that, you can now see a blue and red slide outside, something that simply didn't exist before. And inside the house, the change is even more striking. The place is almost like a castle, a brand new and gigantic living room. Honestly, just look at how many people can fit in that room. And it gets even better, because now there are separate bedrooms for each of the 3 little pigs. Even the garage, which didn't exist before, is so big that it's full of clutter and still has space left over. And look, these changes to the house are just the tip of the iceberg of everything that changed between 2005 and 2025. The next change is something everyone knows, but almost no one notices how much it has evolved: the show's opening. So leave a like, subscribe, and stick with us, because this is another zigzag video, and Peppa's evolution is only just beginning. And of course, if the house changed, the opening sequence didn't stay frozen in time either. And look, the animators didn't just tweak one small detail or another, they practically redesigned everything. The old opening started with Peppa standing on top of the logo, and out of nowhere, she would drop onto the grass in the backyard. Simple, straightforward, and very early 2000s. Now the logic is completely different. The first image that appears is the new house, and Peppa walks out through the door as if she's presenting her own mansion. The sky is bluer, everything looks cleaner and more modern. She still introduces the family, but in a way that feels less theatrical and more natural. Before, Peppa would say her own name and then let out that classic pig snort. Today, no snorting at all. Nobody does it anymore. Now they just laugh, as if the show decided to grow up along with its audience. George changed too. Before, he would run up to his sister and stop neatly right in front of her. Now he simply throws himself on top of Peppa and falls to the ground, just like a little kid who hasn't figured out how to stop yet. And of course, since Eevee is now part of the family, Peppa appears pulling the stroller straight toward the screen. That was a pretty noticeable change, but it's nothing compared to the change that happened before the show even launched, back in 2002. Because the Peppa that was born back then isn't exactly the same one we see today. It might sound crazy, but Peppa Pig has been on television since 2004. That's right, more than 20 years on the air. And the most curious part? Even the very first episode we know is already different from the original idea, created back in 2002. When creators Neville Astley and Mark Baker first presented the project, it didn't even look like the show that would later become a phenomenon. In the initial version, a narrator introduced the little pig by explaining who she was. A bit bossy, yes, but a great sister to George and an exemplary daughter to her parents. By 2004, when the show officially premiered, everything started differently. Theme song, Peppa jumping in muddy puddles, and zero formal explanation. The show comes in flying straight at your face. You can imagine this beta version of Peppa being introduced almost like in a kid's documentary. This is Peppa. She likes this, she does that, then cut to the version we know. Mud flying everywhere, laughter, George yelling, "Dinosaur!" and chaos established within the first few seconds. The essence is the same, but the way the story is told changed completely. What started as a simple idea, calmly narrated, ended up transforming into a visual phenomenon full of its own identity. And when you look closely, you can see that this evolution didn't stop at the story. And if the animation improved this much, could that also have affected the evolution of other characters? Like George, Peppa's little brother? Want to know how? Then type the hashtag animation so we know you made it all the way to this part of the video. Another clear evolution in Peppa Pig involves George himself, who now officially occupies the role of the middle child. And this isn't just symbolic. You can really notice that something has changed in the way he behaves, and especially in the way he speaks. For a long time, George was basically defined by two things: dinosaurs and grunts.
Dinosaur.
But in the more recent episodes, that has started to change. He still doesn't talk much, of course. He's still George, but now he occasionally says full sentences. And honestly, it was more than time for that to happen. A good example of this shows up in the episode Decorating the Baby's Room, when Daddy Pig and Mummy Pig show the empty rooms to the kids. Instead of just repeating random words, George looks around, thinks for a moment, and asks why everything is like that. It's a simple scene, but it says a lot. You can see that the little pig is curious and trying to understand the world around him. That moment makes it clear that Peppa's brother is growing up. He's no longer just the baby of the family. And if George is changing, maturing, and finding his own voice, that raises an inevitable question. How does all of this evolution affect the youngest member of the family? Because Eevee arrived at a very different moment in the show, and her impact on the pig family's dynamic is bigger than it might seem at first glance. And of course, we couldn't leave Eevee out. With no exaggeration at all, she is one of the biggest changes Peppa Pig has had in recent years. Her arrival caught everyone by surprise because no one expected the pig family to gain a third child after so much time. But Eevee didn't just bring another baby to mess up the house. She brought something completely new to the show, a real visual difference. While all the little pigs in the series have always followed the same pattern, Eevee arrived breaking that rule. It's impossible not to notice the heart on her cheek. Before her, no character had any kind of mark on their face. Now, the moment Eevee appears on screen, your eyes go straight to that little heart. And then comes the part that really makes your head spin. Is that just a cute detail? Or is there something more going on? The fact is, all the other pigs look the same, but Eevee doesn't, and it's hardly ever by accident. That tiny heart represents one of the boldest evolutions in the series, and maybe the most mysterious one too. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because the next change in Peppa Pig is right in front of your eyes, and you never even noticed it. And it wasn't just the pig family that evolved over time. Their car went through a maturity phase too. At the beginning of the show, Daddy Pig drove that classic red convertible, stylish, wind in his face, and zero concern for safety. But at one point in the series, he comes home with a surprise. A blue car, modern and different. Really different, because this car had a name. It was called Roger, and yes, it talked. An electric, smart car that drove itself and almost even got a ticket because the police didn't know how to deal with it. Can you imagine that scene? Roger stayed with the family for a while, full of personality, until he disappeared as quietly as he arrived. After that, everything goes back to normal. Daddy Pig returns to the old red convertible, as if saying, "That's enough innovation for today." But then time passes, the family grows, and in the episode Test Drive, he decides to change again. But in the end, it's still Daddy Pig driving, getting lost, and saying he knew exactly where he was going.